Good evening to my obesity warriors. Obesity warriors, something I came up with on my short yesterday. So I figured I'd just go with it. But obviously, like I explained yesterday, we are at war, with obesity. So, at least that's who it is that, I designed my channel for. People that are suffering from obesity and deal with obesity related issues on a daily basis. So that's kind of like what it is that where I was coming from with the obesity warrior thing. So, but to get right into it, this is the Sunday update, and I am excited because I did not do an update last Sunday because I didn't have the greatest week. It was not just from a standpoint of weight loss, but I mean just overall. It was 100 degrees for several days, and like I mentioned before, I managed pharmacy, and we lost power, so I had to move all of my drugs from one location to another location, and it was just something else. So the week did not start well, but it did get better the following week. But just to recap that particular week, I did not lose any weight. Week 24 is what I'm talking about, my 6 month. That was my 6 month, exactly 6 months for me on the journey. And I don't, like I said, I hesitate to say any kind of stall or plateau or anything because I literally just, it was literally just 1 week, you know what I mean? And the thing is, I know for a fact for the last couple of weeks, I haven't really got to the workout portion that I like to with my walking and strength training. I had like an issue with my in my back, so I didn't do the strength. I kind of lightened up on my strength training, was just doing the walking, and then for like a good week, I didn't do either. So I'm not surprised at not losing weight. I didn't gain anything. My nutrition was still on 100. My nutrition is still top tier. I make sure I get the proper nutrition, so that's not a thing. So that was definitely not a problem at all. But as far as like my movement and my working out was not there. So I'm actually not surprised at not necessarily, at holding at a particular weight, So that was kind of like my 6 month marker where I just kind of set right there at that same weight. So, and it, like I said, it wasn't a great week. But we did rebound for week 25. Week 25 was very good. I didn't get to, like I said, jump deep back into like my walking and my working out because I did have a ankle injury. Not nothing serious, but and I don't even remember how I did it, but it was like so sore I couldn't put too much weight on it. So I kind of just iced it, and like I said, kept to my really good eating habit. And lo and behold, I lost 3 pounds this week. I lost 3 pounds this week. 3 pounds. So that's simply amazing. So what that means is I am now down to 250 pounds. 250 pounds. And that's amazing because, I came all the way here from 320. 319 so to be exact, 319.6, and I'm down 258. I'm 250.8, which makes me down 68 pounds. 68 pounds. So I'm on the precipice of that 70 pound marker. So I think we can get it. I know I said in June I wanted to be out to 250s, but hey, I'll take being 250. I'm absolutely not complaining about that because that was a goal and we got darn close. I lost 8 pounds in the month of June, and that's with me pretty much staying steady 1 week. So had I lost, the traditional 2 pounds, I would have been right at the marker that I set for myself, which was 248. And like I said, the significance in getting into the 40s is that I haven't seen 245 pounds in probably 10 years. So, or close to 10 years, maybe more like nine. So that's kind of like 8 or 9 years, because I think it was 2017 where I hit that like 244 at a doctor's appointment. And that's when I was really an avid treadmill person. I was really on the treadmill and really running, putting that time in. So if I can get to that, I think that would be amazing because I haven't seen that in so long. So that is definitely a goal. Now, I mean, honestly, by July 1st, which is Tuesday, if I lose a pound, a little more than a pound, I'll be in the 240. So we're still right there. We're still right there. So in July, I mean, obviously, I'm going to work a lot harder on the my lifestyle movements, the strength training, and the walking, and I think we'll have a really, really good month by doing so. Because, like I said, I lost 8 pounds without doing it this month. I should mention that I also did go back to the 10 milligram because I kind of like figured out that, which is super important because I was on 7.5. I ruined the pen. I took another 7.5. I had 2 10s left. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let them go to waste. And I'm really going, because the whole thing was about the heart rhythm being elevated. And thank God it has not been. Since I've taken that 10 again, it has not been. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm pretty comfortable going back to that 10 milligram because basically, and I've took my second one today. So we'll see. I mean, I still have another week to evaluate here on the 10. But I think, hopefully, God's willing, it should be fine because I've been monitoring myself and I haven't had any kind of weird excursions. So, I think I'm going to go back to that because it's very helpful. So that probably attributed to that weight loss. So I took my blood pressure today and that was 120/84. Like I said, my top number has been very good. It's been like 120, 119, 120, 19. My bottom number has been pretty steady at that, like 83, 84, 85, 83, 84, 85. So I don't know. I don't know what, that bottom number is kind of like sitting right there. I guess it's stubborn, like visceral fat. You know what I mean? Kind of like just in fat in general is just kind of sitting there. So, that's kind of like what I want to work on. When I get back to my walking and everything, we'll see. Because I'd like to get that bottom number into the 70s, so I mean, obviously a perfect pressure is probably like 115 over 70, 75. So I'm working to get there, And then we'll speak about visceral fat. I actually lost another percentage in the visceral fat category this week. My BMI is exactly 34. So we got about 5% to go to get out of this obesity category. So if I get down to 219, that'll put me there. So, I really don't, I got about 31, 32 pounds, that I should, if my math is right, to get where I want to get as far as that's concerned. So another 30 pounds. And I'm going to do all, everything that I can to get it, because I do want to be, like I said, out of the obese category by the fall. That's just a personal goal of mine. So when I go to my next annual physical in January, obesity won't be a thing that's on in my chart. So, and I have my cancer screenings coming up in January, both my colon and prostate. I'm doing both of those in January. I'll be 45, so I want to make sure I'm proactive with that. So, there's that. And like I was saying, with the measurements today on the SMART scale, with me being 250.8 to be exact, it feels really good. I mean, to be looking at that number. I mean, because with my SMART scale, it kind of like, it's obviously an app in the phone that connects to the scale. And look at the digital dial, kind of like creep up and then stop at that 250. It's just like amazing because I can remember it shooting right on past going to 320. So to actually dial back, and just stop at that 250, man, it is definitely a great feeling. So I'm just happy about that. And then, like I said, if I go and talk about the measures that I had within the SMART scale, my actual fat was like 33%, which came down from, was 39, when I first started. It was like 39. From 39 down to 33, I think that's pretty good. Muscle is holding pretty steady. And my visceral fat, like I said, took another dip because when this whole thing started, my memory serves me correct, the visceral fat was somewhere around 35 and now it's at 25. So things are moving in the right. My protein is still inching up. I'm nearly at 15. I'm like 14.7. So when I started, it was at 12. So, and that's like, what kind of determines whether you're like malnutrition or not, you know. And mine is, like I said, like around 12. So with all of the protein and everything like that, it's inching more close to like that 16, being at like 14.7, you know. So I definitely am inching the right way. My bones are getting stronger, because I think I started somewhere around like a 5.9 or 5.8. And now it's at 6.8, you know, so that my bones are actually getting stronger. My protein is increasing. My water actually also is increasing. I mean, I'm on a water pill, so I do take it with a grain of salt, like the measurement in that way, because it will always read a little bit lower. If I wasn't on a water pill, I'm pretty sure it would probably, you know, maybe 60, you know, but it's like right around 50. It's like 40. Right now it's 49.8, so I'm really close to that 50%. So, you know, no dehydration or anything of that nature. So yeah, just happy with the turnaround. I think this was a good week. This will be 6 months and 1 week into my journey, and I got what 48 weeks left. You know, to, you know, like I said, we just following, you know, the trial. You know, how they determine, you know, weight loss and things of that nature. So I still got quite a bit of time. You know, and you know, 70 pounds or just about 70 pounds ain't nothing to sneeze at. You know, we are inching towards that 100-pound mark, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to get there, you know. So that's that. And in other news, obviously I actually have been, you know, keeping up with everything that's going on with the brands and looking at the news and watching, you know, fellow content creators, and you know, it's a lot going on out there. And my hope is that by, I would say, the fall or the turn of the new year, when we get more of the up and coming drugs, you know, because I think we're going to see retatrutide before, you know, by early 2026. You know, I think Eli's, you know, in the background, you know, really working, and they're going to pretty much like, you know, hit us with something. And I think that might be it, you know. So it'll be very interesting to see how that drops and what the price is going to be and what it does to the others. Meaning like obviously Zepbound, you know, pricing, especially the vials. You know, I'm interested to see how those vials drop. You know, that pricing. I think it will drop. I'm hopeful that it'll drop. Right now, being $349 and $499 is still not doable for most. And I really hope that they go ahead and drop it to at least $299, because I think $299 would actually be decent. You know what I mean? Like to go from $499 to $299 would be decent. I think for the, I mean, for all of them, from you know, and if they want to make the starter dose, you know, $249, they'll be great. They'll be great. I mean, as a start, because I really don't think they're going to just drop the $199. You know, I don't think that's going to be realistic for them. But they could probably put the starter dose at $199 and put the regular doses at $249. You know, but I think realistically, in my mind, I can definitely see them doing $249 and $299 for the vials. You know, and I think that's more affordable. You know, like, and I think that a lot more people would be able to reach, you know, that, because with compounded fees and everything, most of them are paying $2 something anyway. You know, they might promote to be $199, but after the fees and all, they spending around $300. So I think that, you know, if they make it that, which they can, I think it'll be much appreciated by the public, because it'll help, you know, more people to have access to the meds. And then obviously retatrutide would be what they kind of price at the higher ranges, because like the CEO kind of like, I would say he kind of mentioned, like when he was talking about when it first comes out, it'll probably be aimed at people with a BMI of at least 35, you know, and with comorbidities, and probably above 40, you know, without. So, and that's probably the right thing to do, you know. Obviously, Novo has several things that they're also working on, that, you know, a lot of people have been talking about. A lot of their stuff with the amylins and once a month stuff, which is interesting, because if you could take something once a month instead of once a week, I think that'll be, you know, that could be game changing for some. For something like that, I do worry about side effects, because do you deal with the side effects for weeks versus days? You know, if you take something weekly now, you might have side effects maybe the second or third day and it goes away. Now, you know, are you dealing with side effects like 2 weeks later? You know, I do think about that, you know, with that kind of stuff. So is this going to be a very interesting GLP market, I think, in 2026. But it's exciting because there'll be a lot of help, especially the orals, because with the orals coming out, I'm not really, like I said, a proponent of the orals for people that's just starting out. I think that's more helpful for those that are in maintenance, unless you're just scared of needles and just can't do it, because any help is better than no help. But just like with some of the percentages that I saw, I just think that it'll be a lot more helpful to those that are looking to move into maintenance versus those that, and I don't mean all, because some starting out that are like just that may be overweight and not obese, then it probably is a good thing for them as well. But for those that are clinically obese, like I said, those that I'm talking to that are clinically obese, with the BMI of 40 and 50, they're gonna need that, Zepbound, retatrutide, that kind of, whatever that brand name is going to end up being, is what they'll probably end up more so needing, So I'm not going to make this video, too long today. No rants from me. I got all the rants out of my system, so I'm just keeping my channel organic and looking for those that actually are interested in, being obesity warriors and sort of kind of like fighting a good fight, and sharing ideas and talking about some of the struggles, and just keep it at that, not comparing anybody's journey. I hope people don't do that, with this channel, because I'm definitely not into that. You could be a non-responder, average responder, a hyper responder, slow responder, whatever you want to, whatever it is that, the journey takes you, you're welcome here, you know what I mean? And I'd like to just, keep it at that and be able to, converse with each other back and forth in regards to those things, those struggles that we have, and just leave it at that. Obviously, respectful discourse is always, welcome, because obviously how do we grow if we don't have that? I'm completely fine with that, but out and out judgment is not something that we want to do. We want to keep, things positive over here and be able to respectfully debate certain things. So that is all it is that I, like I said, I'll continue to support all of the influencers pages that I come across, and champion and root them on and send, motivational things and try to show my, what it is that I'm doing, and showing, the journey through things like this, updates and my photos, and just keep motivating people that, kind of look like myself, being an African-American male, and those that aren't, because obesity has no face. It is definitely something that affects a lot of people, and everybody's, like I said, welcome here. So, I mean, that's that. I mean, I'm looking forward to my vacation, because I'm actually on vacation this week, so I'll definitely get time to go ahead and work out, continue eating right, and I'll tell you guys how that second week of the 10 did, because that's what I'm back to, and prayerfully everything goes amazing for you guys. I want you to continue to enjoy your day, keep on fighting a good fight, keep on being those obesity warriors. And if you know somebody that's looking to get on the GLP-1 journey, especially a male, because we are, in the minority when it comes to actually getting on and explaining the journey and talking to one another. We are definitely in the minority, because we don't probably express things and kind of like get, trying to kind of like, put people in our personal space. But I decided that I would, because I think that there are people that are going to benefit from me doing this. In fact, I know there are, because, people do reach out and talk, even the people that started before me, even kind of champion, even I was talking to Charles, had commented on one of my shorts, and we talked a little bit, and especially about my clarity video. And his thing was simple. Your job is to just get it done. You get it done and show the results. That's it. You got to do a whole lot of talking. But obviously, we're here to talk through the journey and give tips and take feedback and grow our community. Spread information, fight the good fight, and that's that. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna hop off of here. Like I said, if you know somebody who it is that's looking to jump in and to the community, and they looking for some tips, just send them my way. I'm always willing to talk in the messages, and same thing with the channel. Tell them to go back to the whole story and watch it all the way through, because it's all there. So like I said, I'm down 21.5% on the way to 22, 68 pounds. I'm 250 pounds now, and I'm looking to get to 220, which would be 100 pounds down for me. You know, whenever it happens, but those are my goals, and I'm going to keep fighting towards them. All right, like I always like to end all of our videos. For my obesity warriors, we are in it together. Later.